Hi, and welcome to this video on how to add a JavaScript-based color picker to Business Central. Hey, I'm Eric, and in this video we're going to try something together. Somebody, I forgot who, I'm sorry, emailed me or messaged me and said, hey, I have trouble getting this color picker to work. Can you help? And I thought, hey, might as well do it in a video. So let's take a look at it together. This is the color picker in question, the jscolor.com color picker. And hey, see the following two-liner example. That's how simple the installation can be. I love that. That sounds simple. And the 2 lines of code, and that gives us a color picker. Awesome. And there's even a configurator thing here, so we can download configuration. We got that downloaded. Let's look at this. This is, you guys can't really see this, but there's a zip file with a HTML file and a JavaScript file, so I'll just grab the JavaScript file. I'll put that into a folder where I just prepared an empty extension. So this is JavaScript. So we need a control.in to post the JavaScript. So let's create a new control.in. Call it color picker.js. Actually, make this better. There we go. Color picker, not .js, that's completely wrong. Color picker.al and another one, the marketplace.a. And so now you can see just, behind me, some crazy arrows said that a request has failed, see the output for information. We can take a quick look at the output and see that apparently I just broke the AL compiler. So let's ignore that. And I broke it again. So let's create this controller in color picker. And this one needs a startup. As you see now, what we lost is actually the IntelliSense. Let's see if I'm able to do this without IntelliSense. Startup.js. It's really angry at me right now. Let's see if we can survive. So what can you do when Visual Studio Code is clearly mad at you? The first thing you can try to do, and we can do that now, is to do developer reload window. And now we'll see if it's happy. We can try to compile. See if this it works or not. Well, it couldn't find startups.js, so that's a good thing. So I think we're back in business. Let's just add that file now that we know that we need it. Startup.js. We can compile again, and we actually got a package. So I'm not sure what happened. I will send the error log for this to the guys in Lyngby, and they can look at the video. So there's a perfect example of how to reproduce it, and then we'll continue working with this. So back to the color picker. So this one already exists. I think they are wrong. So let's make sure that we don't have anything crazy. We'll just continue for a second here. So we need to add the script we downloaded. It needs to go into, we broke it again, into the one called scripts. So let's continue and see how this goes. So that goes into scripts. And then just to I'll just copy something here from my secret stash. So we got that. and then we could go requested height equal 25. If we go back and look at this, we can see that the control is probably 25 pixels. That's probably fine. We always want the event control, not color, control ready event, and then we probably need to have some sort of event for somebody picked a color picked, and it's probably just a string right now. Let's see what happens now if we ask to reload. If we can get rid of that annoying bug. Or at least I think it's a bug. It may just be, if I'm doing something wrong, guys, let me know in the comments below, because I want to learn. So we still get an error that it already exists. Even it already exists in the same file as we are in, which is very, very strange, because I only created one file here. And we can we compile? Perhaps we can compile. This is interesting. So this video is going to be about something. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna close Visual Studio Code, and then I'm gonna completely reopen it just to see what happens. See if we are back in business, or this is so far so good. No squiggly line on the color picker. I think we can, let's try to build. The packet is created, but it's still mad at me. Well, you know, guys, let's keep this going. Let's see if we can get to get something that works. So when we have a control add-in, we have two things. We have scripts. Scripts are loaded. That's like when you have an include statement at the top of a HTML page, just like the one we have here. This one says include this JS color, JS. That's exactly what we're doing in the scripts line. Startup script is what actually runs when the page is loaded. So we're going to start up, and then we need to see if we can get this to work. So what we need is to use the same. I just use the same trick all over again. I'm a one-trick pony, dog, horse. I don't know. And this is the trick from the dynamic HTML video. You can go look at that to see more details. So I can so let's do that. You see, if we go back to, and then we find the dynamic HTML video, find the code for that, see if this one and we see we need the content here. So we need the HTML container to get the controller in, and then we'll tell the controller ready. I'll just go back to my color picker here. So we get this, and then actually let's go back, and so there's nothing like copy pasting, right? So let's go and grab from the other one again. But this time I want to grab the function, the insert HTML here. So we have that. Oops. I go back to my color picker. And so what we want to insert in this case is actually, let's go back to this one. Or we can actually, we could take a look at our download. We can see here in our download that the only thing we need to do is basically add an input. We can add some more funky if we wanna. We could actually add something to control this. Well, let's wait with the shadow thing. Actually, let's wait with the shadow thing for a second. But we need to add in an input field that has a data-js color element. So we can do that. There we go. So now we have the 2 lines. So let's add something more because we need to use it. So let's just quickly add a customer card extension.al. The error has gone away. Perhaps, let's see. Everything is green right now, so we might be in luck. So let's create a a page extension. Customer card YouTube extends customer card layout. Add after, what about add name? We just need something. And remember, we create control add-ins, but when we use them, they're called user control. And we can actually select it here, so that's good. Application area is all. And this is customer card, and I think I prepared my launch to use customer card as my startup. So this is all good. So we compile now. So this is interesting. Compile. We compiled, deployed. Okay. So what happened here is that we got an input field, but there's no color thing here. Okay, so let's go back to this one. Let's take a look at the documentation for a second. And so what's different here from a normal page is that we're kind of breaking the document object model, the DOM's way of constructing a page, because we're suddenly injecting more JavaScript, more HTML into the page. So if I search for generated, and hey, that was easy. In case of generated HTML content, that's exactly what we're doing. So blah 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 default. So there's a function called jscolor.install. So let's do that. So now we're adding. So no, it's no longer 2 lines, now 3 lines. But let's see if we can do that. So we can do jscolor.install. Was that it? jscolor.install, yeah. Okay. F5, compile. This is it. The error's kind of gone away. Notice that? Huh. Okay. No, so something is still broken. Let's check the JavaScript console. There's no errors or anything funky here. Now you're yelling at the screen, because I did this before I inserted, and that's probably pretty bad. So let's just try this first. Let's try this. Oh, success. I see some white, but okay. So now we can see that it's kind of opening the color dialog, but it's so okay. So this is an interesting thing about. So we're not actually inserting JavaScript into the document. We're inserting all this. Actually, let me show you again. If we go back here and I grab the let's see if I can make this big enough so it's I grab the inspector and I inspect and I make this full screen so we can see what goes on. Sorry if I'm just totally filling your screen with JavaScript, but I kind of have to in order to explain this. So down here we have our JavaScript controller. You remember we found the control add-in, and in this case we're actually adding it right after. We could add it inside this one, could be that's better, but all this resides inside an iframe. So we're suddenly actually it's a web page within a web page. So for the control add-in, in this case for something from the iframe to come onto the parent page area, I'm not sure I know how to do that. If somebody has a good idea, then let me know in the comments below. That would be pretty cool to do. So we'll do the next best thing, and then let's see that this one is probably let's say 145 pixels. So let's see how this goes. And we're compiling, so now we got a lot of space. We actually got a color picker, so that's pretty cool. So now we have the color picker here. Could probably give it a couple more pixels. Still get an error saying it's already there. That's kind of strange. Okay, so now we need to get. We want to get when people select the color that we need that event. We actually built an event, so I think we need to go back to the documentation here for a second and take a look at, can we find something on change, a callback function that is called when the color changes after releasing a mouse model leaving. So and we can use, okay, so that's pretty, we can do that. Okay, so we can do that. Let's here in the startup then define a function called update, and it clearly takes the picker, right? Yeah, as a parameter. And then we need to do the classical Microsoft.dynamics.nav.invoke exists now. I'm getting suggested. And what did we call the color picked? And we could do just to RGBA string. So we could do picker to RGBA string as the parameter. This is very good. And then we need to add that to the configuration. And the way you do this for this, I actually read just on change. And now you can see that because I need to do a a quote, then this one breaks the string, but I can put a backslash in front of it and it's still, so update this, because that's our update function. So we're calling now, and another quote, and then we need to add in a alpha channel information here. So this should call this one. So let's go back to the customer card and find the trigger called color picked, and just let's do a message of color info. That's it. So let's see if this works. Then I'll explain what goes on. There you go, color picked, RGBA. We got the full message. I think we're also got the alpha channel, so this is pretty good. Okay, so let's just go back for a second and look at what we did in the startup JSON. So first of all, I created a function called update. That took the control as a parameter, and then I called the nav event. We defined the event on the color picker called color picker color info, and passed that function they suggested to use in the documentation here. And then I updated the data-JS color takes a JSON structure with the configuration on. In this case, I added a configuration for the onChange, so it will call my update function. So that's how to add a color picker. What I would love to be able to have the color picker come on top of the nav stuff, but the BC stuff, but I don't know how to do that. So if anybody has a way to do that, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments. Anyway, this was also had a bonus concept of me somehow breaking the compiler, so we got a chance to look at the reload function a bit. Bonus content. Anyway, until next time, have a wonderful day.